All right, so we're going to be doing Rahu in the 7th house finally from a long list of people who demanded this for a long time. So let's not waste time and let's get started with it. I have to go eat some pizza. I'm hungry. All right, so Rahu in the 7th house. What is 7th house and what is Rahu? 7th house is your legal bindings in life. It represents mainly your marriage because marriage is a legal binding. Business partnerships. It represents legal trades. It also represents like court cases. Like if you run through some court cases, 7th house is the reason why you might be going to court a lot in your life. So it represents judges and lawyers as well. It is the house of business, house of trade. Why? Because 1st house is of self, 7th house is of other people. The lower, not the lower level, but the lower side of life, which is about, going out and just doing business. And, it's kind of like a jungle where everybody's doing trades, so this is what it represents. 7th house can also represent foreign trades, especially with Rahu in the 7th house. Then what is Rahu? Rahu is that head that always keeps eating but is never full because he doesn't have a stomach. It's just a head taking in. So he keeps taking in. It's that obsessive energy to wanting everything now in a material world. And maybe looking at the quickest way to go there. Rahu is that illusion that puts in front of you like, oh, I need to get $1 billion while you might only be capable of making like $20. So that's what Rahu does. But what happens when these two energy meet together? So when Rahu comes into the 7th house, it can represent a person who might marry somebody of a foreign lands, someone who might marry somebody outside of their culture, their society. It can also mean you might marry somebody of the same society but in foreign lands. Okay, this represents a very, very clever, cunning businessman. Like if you want somebody to bring in business for you, hire this guy. But if you're going to do business with somebody with this position, don't do business with them because they'll outsmart you. Because here, Rahu is in the marketplace. Rahu is what? That true salesman. Rahu wants to get everything quick. So how do you get everything quick? By doing business. By selling you something and getting your money. And so what Rahu does, he makes a snake oil looks like an elixir to fix your cancer. And he charges you arm and a leg for it, but you don't get anything out of it. However, that doesn't mean that every person doing business like this is bad. No, but I'm just trying to tell you what Rahu represents here. But what I really mean is that these people are very good at making money and doing business. Especially if you are a lawyer, you'll find lawyers with these positions a lot because Rahu, makes a person deal with a lot of enemies in their life. Deal with a lot of oppositions. Wherever Rahu is, wherever that obsession is, it's going to make you deal with a lot of opposition to really get to where you want. Like in 2nd house, you may struggle a lot in saving your money. So the saving of the money becomes your enemy. You have to fight it and you have to overcome it and then save the money. So in 7th house, you are now dealing with a lot of enemies in the courthouse. And now you have to fight them and win that case. So absolutely a law field is seen from this place. Or you could be somebody who always gets into court cases because you have such a successful business that you have to go to courts every day. Somebody's suing you, somebody's doing this or that. You know how big businesses go. That happens. But what happens is this. Rahu's quench for thirst is never met. And what that means is that in this house of legal bindings with especially the opposite sex, Rahu wants all of their spouse as much as they can right away. That means, if they get into a relationship and they get married, they want to, just do it all day long. They want to, hang out with them as much as they want. And then what happens is Rahu thirst is never met. And so once they have exhausted the energy of their spouse in every way and shape and form, they're like, now what? I need more. and I've already gotten this here. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And so they, once they get everything from their partner, they kind of feel bored. But their thirst is still there. They need more. So this is why what happens is then they might look for a relationship somewhere else. And especially Rahu, who is a significator of second marriage, might give you a spouse who's actually like you, yet in a worst way. Who might actually be more cunning than you, might be very materialistic, because Rahu in the seventh house people are materialistic. They need security. They need the good things in life. And so they attract a first partner who might actually be very materialistic, very demanding, and may not able to, that their spouse may not give them everything that they want, but they may take everything they might have. And this is how the trouble happens in the seventh house with spouse, is that either the person with the Rahu doesn't get his thirst quenched, or person who they marry may not get their thirst quenched, and so then the Rahu, or may not able to give them anything that they want, and the Rahu feels like, no, I still have that thirst, I still have that desire, so I need to go somewhere else and find it. And this is kind of becomes like a lifelong thing, like a lifelong pathological cheaters, I guess, or lifelong lustful person who's just out there looking for experiences. And since Rahu is so cunning and secretive that you may not even know that they're doing it, but they might be. Like, they go on a business trip while you have a complete set of mind about them, but when they go out, their whole thing changes. Like, the Rahu is that snake, he just goes around and does his thing and leaves. But does that mean that you're not gonna have a successful life with Rahu in the seventh house? No, because again, it comes down to the nakshatra that Rahu is sitting in. And also, like I said, seventh house is the house of other people, of masses, all sorts of people. So Rahu, in certain signs in nakshatra can actually give huge amount of fame. And I'm talking a huge amount of fame, kind of like Michael Jackson or Britney Spears or Justin Bieber, Tom Cruise type of a fame. Especially if third and fifth house are very strong, it'll definitely help Rahu amplify its energy to other people. And especially if Rahu is in the sign of Leo or Gemini or Libra, and if it's in the nakshatra of Magha nakshatra or any of the nakshatra in Leos, obviously, then it can definitely denote to a very flashy and very extravagant Rahu who wants to show off, who wants to be exposed to the world, who wants to act like a lion. And remember, Rahu always becomes the planet of the sign that it sits in. If there's no conjunction and Rahu is in the seventh house in the sign of Leo, it's becoming like the sun, but it's becoming a much brighter and much bigger sun. It's like an illusion. It's like if Rahu is this much and you put a magnifying glass in front of it, that's what Rahu becomes. So when Leo comes in here and Rahu is behind it, it looks like a really, really big sun, and it amplifies its energy. Okay, so if it's in Gemini, it becomes Mercury. This person can also be in foreign lands for quite a while, doing business and doing foreign trades, but it could eventually bring them back to their homeland, not because of not because against their will. It'll bring them back because of their own choice. Because hey, I did the trade, I'm happy now, I made all the money. Hey, I would love to live in my own home place or homeland. But usually Rahu in the seventh house can denote two trades in, with foreign lands. You might be in India doing trades in US, or you might actually move to US and do trades between US and India. So that happens. And then Rahu in the seventh house really makes a person amplify their thirst for partnership and love. And what does that mean? Is that these people have a huge friend circle. Like, they may want to make a lot of connection, dealing with people. Seventh house is dealing with people, like 11th house, social network. So they make a lot of connection through business, and their thirst for a partner, like I said, is never really quenched. And so they might actually be having a lot of relationship before they actually settle down. Now, unless, let's say, Jupiter is there with Rahu, or Jupiter aspects Rahu in the seventh house, then Jupiter will control Rahu's desire to have every single woman or man they can have. But if Mars is there with Rahu in the seventh house, then you're looking at very, very aggressive energy towards, spouse. Like this combination can denote to somebody who might actually physically abuse their spouse in the marriage, or they themselves might get abused by their partner with this placement of Rahu in the 7th house. But overall, again, Rahu is illusion. Rahu is that smoke-filled illusion. So if with this placement, people in their first marriage usually might marry somebody while not seeing their true self, which gets revealed after marriage. So when they find their first spouse, this haze in front of them, and they're saying, oh, they're the perfect spouse, they're beautiful, they're educated, they're, so nice, and they're secure. But as soon as you marry them, you find the truth. Like, ooh, okay, didn't expect that, right? So, yeah. So this is my analysis on Rahu in the 7th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe above, because I upload videos every day, and you might want to check me out every day, except weekends. Maybe one day on weekend, maybe not Sunday. But hey, mostly every day. And if you want to know more about astrology, check out my link below. Check out my book, The Astrology, The Speed of Light. It's going to show you all the secrets of astrology. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Say yeah, bye-bye.